Welcome to the Nerd BS podcast. My name is Kyle. This is the Nerd BS podcast where the BS stands for backstory. We're just basically giving you the backstory of our nerd lives. And with me, as always, is the amazing Alan.
Hello, fine people. Welcome to the show.
And of course, the tumultuous Tomas.
Hey, what's up? How you doing, everyone?
You like that one?
Yeah, that was a good one.
Okay, good. I know you had mentioned.
I was just thinking maybe Alan's should be switched to the adorable Alan since he kind of gets that like whisper effect sometimes.
Adorable it is.
Yeah, you like it, Alan?
Yes, welcome to the show. We're going to talk about this week's stories, aka what we watched, whether that's movies or TV shows, video games, usually tabletop games, but probably not that much this week. But before we get there, Alan, if someone wants to talk to us, how can they do that?
The best way to get a hold of us is through probably through YouTube comments. We have a YouTube and our email and all that stuff. But you can find that all in the description below or the description of the YouTube video as well, depending on where you're listening to this. All of our information will be down there, or your Twitter, or our YouTube. Yeah, you'll find out.
Continue.
There's
I know I sent a message in our group Discord, and it apparently threw Alan off.
It just threw me all through a loop. I don't know. I thought he was talking to me, and I was like, "Wait, what? What's going on?" But anyways, yeah, all that jazz. Check it out. Let us know. Yell at the quality. Tell Tomas to mute his mic because he is getting all sorts of interference.
That's exactly what I said.
And he ran away now. Well, I guess I could add this too while we're waiting. I'm not sure if he's.
What? I was keeping quiet. Oh my god, this is ridiculous. I get flack for talking. I put myself on mute. I get flack for putting myself on mute. This is bull.
Hey, you're gone for 1 week, man. You miss a whole lot. Okay, the rules have changed.
We made a lot of voting decisions, and they all passed unanimously.
Pray I do not alter them again.
Yeah, exactly.
But we have some exciting news, though, that I want to tell while I have the limelight here. We actually put everything over to the new podcast platform. So all of our old shows, if you're just joining us or just started listening to us and notice that the oldest one was like 13 for a while, well, they're all there from one and on. You can hear from how crappy we were to how great we've become. Check it out.
Great,
and let us know what you think about the old ones, or maybe even give us a chance and see how we're doing the new ones instead. But yeah, they're all there.
Yeah, I know there's probably a ton of noises in this cast already. But I will tell you this, that I listened to one of our older ones compared to like the last few episodes. So like one of the first 10 compared to one of the last 4 or 5 we've done. And my mic setup has become like 100 times better. I know I listen to the old ones like I'm in a hallway yelling at you guys with like the crappiest mic. So
yeah, it's pretty. I was going through them while doing it and reading the titles and everything, and it was just very interesting to see like how far we've gone, and how I'm curious to see what it's going to be like when we actually hit a year.
Shoot.
Yeah, it's going to be coming up. I think we started in October of last year, maybe September, and I'll double check that, and we'll see what happens when we hit a year.
Wow, I didn't even think. Yeah, that's coming up.
Yeah.
I did mention we were going to do something special for episode 20, but I dropped the ball, I will admit, and I didn't plan anything. I went out of town for about 4 days, so I completely forgot we even have a podcast.
He's got to do it while he can.
So we may have extravagant episode 21. Stay tuned. Find out.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see definitely for sure.
So let's get to this week's stories. Someone went to the movie theaters.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot happening right now, but you know what? I guess E3 took the wind out of everybody, right? We talked about it in our last bite. You should probably check that out. But yeah.
There was too much. We didn't even get to hit everything.
No,
we had almost a full. No, we had a full episode last week.
Yeah, it was
supposed to be bite size.
Bite size and in quotations. That was definitely not bite size.
No,
it was a full on episode. It was fun though.
Yeah. We had our guest Chris on, and he actually streamed it on Twitch while we were recording, and yeah, it was a great time. But I look back at the list of things that was announced at E3, and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that one and this one, and
yeah, we barely scratched the surface.
There was a lot at this E3. Like, it's just the climax, if you will, of gaming is happening, and it makes sense. Everything kind of got backed up because of COVID, and now things are getting back on track. So
it's also like the first E3 after the launch of the game, the new console, new next gen, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is like the first like big E3 to promote those consoles. I'm not sure entirely how much got, but I know like Ratchet and Clank just came out and things like that. But it's pretty amazing. But if you want to hear about that, check out our last episode. I mean, it'll be underneath or above this one, however the list works on whatever podcast platform you're listening on YouTube. I'm sure you'll figure it out. You got here, right? Anyways, about that movie theaters, I went and saw myself an anime movie. Me and my son, well, really my buddy Brian, who listens to this, shout out to him. He brought up this anime that had called Demon Slayer, and I think I heard about it a while ago from another friend of mine, but it just kind of went over my head. And when he brought it up, for some reason, it piqued my interest, and I started talking to my son about it, and we both seemed interested. He also likes the anime. So we sat there and watched the first season of Demon Slayer, realizing that there was also a movie in theaters at that time that was going out of theaters in the next like 3 or 4 days. So
yeah, that's a big deal too. To just pop in here, that's for an anime to have a movie in the theaters. And the only one I've ever seen that did that was Dragon Ball, and Dragon Ball's on another level.
Exactly, and that's the way I felt about it. And I really wanted to see it just for that. But I knew it was like it's supposed to be taking place in between the first and second season, so I wanted to like be up to date. So me and my son watched it. We got through them before we went to go see it, the one in theaters. A great show, by the way. If you want to go check out Demon Slayer, it's very anime. So if you're comfortable with all the very expressiveness of anime, you'll probably enjoy it.
Give me a little bit more detail when you say it's very anime.
Just more expressive. Like they do a lot of the very silly things and the overreacting. There's one character that is a very fearful, and so very scared all the time. And so he's it's almost on the brink of annoying. It's like right on the edge. But the rest of it is so good. I moved past that. There's also another character who's actually one of my favorite. He has like a boar's head on, and he's more like the very aggressive and always wants to fight. He actually gets some good character development too through it, but he's also like very edge of extravagant, and it's just very the anime style where they just get a bit more very reactive on
do they do the big eyeball thing?
Yes, they do that kind of stuff, but if you can get past that, which if you're watching anime you probably can, it's a very good show. It's about these demons, and they remind me of vampires, but mixed with Deadites from Evil Dead, where they can be very unique monsters. And his sister basically gets turned, and so he's like trying to take care of her and avoiding people from killing her and of that nature. It's very beautiful. Like the art in it is incredible, which is what hooked me because I was watching it on my big TV, and I started watching it because I told my friend, like, he told me about the movie and I was interested, and I started watching it on my TV at home, and I was just like, this would look really good in theaters. So it made me really excited to finish it, and I got through it, and it was really top notch.
You finished the show?
Yeah, it's only one season, but still like 24 episodes. So it wasn't like a whole lot to catch up on. It wasn't like a One Piece or Dragon Ball or anything like that.
You mentioned there was 2 seasons, or at least the movie takes place. Yeah, so I thought you had
there's not 2. So I guess the second season coming out in October is what I've been told. So
gotcha.
So we'll see. Okay. So this is like leading up to that.
Right.
And while I did really enjoy it, it was actually a very good movie. The ending is kind of a bit much for me. It wasn't that it was a bad ending. It just kind of kept going in a sense, where they really just like sunk in on what happened at the ending to an overextent. And I don't want to spoil anything, so I'll leave that to the. But other than that, though, the movie itself was very beautiful. It was a very top-notch anime-style movie with a lot of great combat and an intriguing story that, if you watch the previous season, that is one of the things that's kind of bad about it. It's not isolated. So if you don't watch the show leading up to it, you're not really going to know what happens in the movie or what's happening in the movie. I took my wife to see it with me. She had no idea what was going on, and she didn't really care about it afterwards. She was just so
that's cool.
But it was really fun, though. I got to go out. Beers. I had definitely got popcorn and everything. I went all in because
I was going to ask. I was literally going to ask you if your theater sells beer, because I don't go to theaters anymore.
Oh yeah,
I don't go to dry theaters anymore.
Yeah,
but I still haven't been to a theater in years. But yeah.
I mean, I couldn't say no. Like they had my beer, and I was like, oh well, I guess you got me. So.
That's a good thing about being dad. It's like, no, I'm booking the tickets right now, and we're going to this theater.
Yeah,
and we're gonna get there a half hour early so I can get my drink.
We did get a little early as well. It was enjoyable. It was a great time. I had a lot of fun, and a good movie if you like the show. So that's where I'll leave it at that. But a good movie if you like the show.
I will be honest with you. I'll be the counterpoint here. I tried watching that show and I could not get into it. I couldn't do it.
I could see it.
Yeah, I don't know if it was the anime stuff or if it was just the plot itself just didn't get me.
It's very dark, and if you like the horror aspect, you'll probably dig it a little bit more.
Yeah,
and
it was I do, but I guess that one just didn't catch me. It was very bloody.
Yeah, yeah.
It did have
very quote unquote adult. I don't know if I'd.
Yeah,
I guess but if you're like talking about vampire and very gory, like you just said, adult. The movie was rated R, so
interesting
perspective too.
Rightfully so, or
blood and gore. It's a lot of you know like that when they do a lot of extravagant things like bloody monster stuff. So that's what you're expecting, you get.
I don't like gore. That's the thing. I like the mystery and I like the horror aspect of like what's behind the curtain, so to speak, and the is it a demonic power? Is it this? Like, I like that spiritual part of it, but I don't like the gore. I could live without the gore and stuff.
Not gore. I prefer that over like Ghosts. Ghosts
live action. Oh, okay.
Well, like Ghosts, like the supernatural stuff that like a little too frightening. But
yeah,
gore top prefer. Personally,
what about you, Tomas? You a gore man or
for me? I'm kind of with Alan in the sense like there's no amount of gore that's ever really bothered me. Like, I mean,
do you guys want like a really over the top one? I don't even know.
But to be
I do have my limits. I can't watch Human Centipede and stuff like that. That's too far.
No. Well, ew, yeah. Just hearing about that one is awful.
Yeah, I was gonna say like I lose interest in it because of the gore, but like Saw was one of those movies. Like by the time it got, I don't know, 3 or 4 was the last one I saw. I was just like, this is just ridiculous. Like,
I got to 6. I made it to 6, and I finally said I had enough.
Yeah, well, there's more reasons than just the gore why that movie had problems moving forward.
But the gore was one of the things for me. It was just, it was too anime. I'm fine in anime if the head. Oh, am I cutting out? Jesus.
It's our Lord and Savior.
Yeah, you are a little bit, but yeah, exactly.
I'll take care of this part. Just resume.
All right, like I don't mind an anime if like, you know, someone cuts off a head and the blood just out like a geyser. If that happened in real life,
right?
Yeah, if that happened in like a real life movie, like if I watched John Wick and like he cut some dude's head off and it geysered out, I would kind of lose respect for John Wick. So
what about Kill Bill? You like Kill Bill?
Kill Bill is a disaster. Don't even get me started on that.
Whoa!
Don't even.
Disaster?
Get him out of the show. Get him out of here. Get him out of here. Take him out.
Passionately do not like Kill Bill.
That might be the next bite-sized episode.
I love Kill Bill.
Kill Bill,
both 1 and 2. 1 is better than 2, but I think they're both incredible.
I remember you got upset at me and Cameron on the first one because we were sat there nitpicking it, and you got a little.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
Yeah, I was too. Trust me, I remember those days. I couldn't believe what was happening.
I can be kinder now and watch it with a closed mouth, but back then, yes, I was a little rude to my host.
That is what you're describing, though. Exactly what you just said of the blood gushing out in live action. So, fair enough. I understand. I was going to recommend one, but I don't even want people to view it because it was so over the top. And if you guys are, you know, basically saying you're wimps, then I'm not gonna mention this one. But it basically, this movie that I'm talking about, it made me not want to watch gory movies anymore. And it was like, okay, that's it. I think I'm done. I'm out. That was the limit for me.
So it was Old Boy?
No, it was worse than Old Boy.
Oh, okay. Because I remember watching Old Boy with you, and that was
bad.
Yeah, that was pretty intense.
That was rough. Did you ever see the American remake?
I don't know. I watched one that you had when you and I were rooming together for a little while.
No, that was the good one.
Okay, yeah, I haven't seen the new one. The remake.
That one's. But see, like this plot of that was so twisted that I enjoyed it. Right, it was so deep that it was like such a revenge story that I was like, oh, okay, that's just insane. You know, that doesn't bother me as much as just the goriness they had in there. But yeah, it is another Japanese one, though. I don't know what happened over there in Japan.
Oh, well, lots of things, but I can't do the Japanese horror movies either. I haven't really found any that I've enjoyed. They've been a little too much for my taste.
Yeah, we'll save that for Halloween time then. top 20 horror Japanese films.
Well, dipping out on that one. There's two total between the three of us. So one of them's Old Boy. Well, that's cool that you got to go to theaters. There was it was like a preparing for Black Widow. That was my
yeah. You know, my wife is actually excited. This is the first time she's been like stoked about a Marvel movie where she said we have to go see that because I don't know why. She just said it looks cool. I want to go see it. She did ask, she's like, do I need to watch the shows? Do I need to know anything going in? I was like, I think we're good.
Did you tell her you need to be caught up with everything?
Yeah, and she's like, all right, I'm out.
I'm done.
Never mind. Pretty sure it's a prequel story. As long as you know who the character is, you should be good.
Because it was supposed to be a prequel to Falcon and Winter Soldier. That's who that one, the character who played Elaine. I can't remember her name right now, but she played somebody in Falcon and Winter Soldier, and I guess that character was supposed to be introduced in Black Widow. And so it was supposed to be like a big reveal when she showed up in Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Oh,
but yeah, it didn't happen. So,
oh dang, that's funny. Well, okay, I'll tell her then. I said, all right. So after you watch Black Widow, then you watch, because she hasn't watched that one yet. I don't think she's watched any of the shows.
Man, then everything's thrown off for me because I forced Imogen to watch Falcon and Winter Soldier here.
And how'd it go?
Oh, she liked it, but now I'm gonna have to explain how this whole Widow thing in between the two. This is just all messed up now.
Yeah, it is a mess. But there was something else you guys watched on Disney Plus. Tell us about that, Tomas.
I didn't actually see it on Disney Plus. We actually went out to the theaters as well.
Oh,
yeah!
Wow.
Because Imogen wanted to go out, and I was like, all right, sure. And she wanted to see Cruella, and I was like, all right, sure. And I went heavy-heartedly because
drag your feet a little bit.
Yeah, because I mean, I saw the two Maleficents with her, and I could do without either of them. Yeah, there's two. Yeah, there's two, dude.
I did not know that.
And they're both just oh gosh, yeah.
I don't think I've watched any of those Disney live action movies. I think I've only watched Jungle Book. That was the only one.
I didn't make it through any of them. I fall asleep on every single one.
Yeah, the Maleficent thing to me, I kind of actually went into it a little bit curious because I was like, wow, let's see how the villains, how did the villains become a villain? And it's basically because people didn't treat her nicely, and so she got mad. And it was kind of like, oh, well, I guess I saw that coming. Oh,
are we allowed to spoil things? Because I think I heard a spoiler that made me laugh.
You just said spoiler alert.
Well, I don't know if anybody cares. Was it that Dalmatians killed her mom or something?
No. In Dalmatian, in the Cruella?
So yeah. if you're talking about Cruella, I'll spoil it.
That's all I kept hearing was Dalmatians killed her mom. That's why she decided to skin puppies.
Yeah.
All right. Here's your official spoiler alert.
Yeah.
As of right now.
So here's the spoiler, right? And this is one of the things that kind of threw me off in the movie was, yeah, you're right, Alan. The Dalmatians totally kill her mom.
Shut up.
Well, that's what I couldn't believe it either. I was like, that threw me out entirely. I was like, I have no desire to see this now.
Yeah,
that is just too far.
So, since we are spoiler alerting this, the twist turns out though that it wasn't really her mom, that it was her caretaker, because her mom was actually the real bad guy all along. And
still, the Dalmatians killed somebody.
So, anyways, the Dalmatians killed someone important to her.
Like murdered or
straight up pushed her off a cliff.
What?
Yeah.
I bet you it was that creep Pongo.
No, it was Genghis. Pongo.
Genghis Kong?
Yeah, his name's Genghis. Yeah. Which I mean, so
when I heard that, I couldn't believe it.
Okay. What? This is an April Fool's joke or something, right? You're making stuff up right now.
No, that's seriously how it goes down.
Oh my gosh.
I personally, yeah. I mean, the story isn't something that's gonna be like, oh wow, how intriguing, or like, oh wow, how unexpected. But I did actually find that I kind of related to Cruella, which didn't happen in Maleficent. Like, Maleficent was like, the world treated me badly, so now I'm a bad person. Like, you can see Cruella kind of dissolve into madness.
there's
it's
murderous
fun.
Dalmatians around.
It's fun to watch her go from a pretty, they already hint at the beginning that she's kind of got a split personality, that she's kind of psychopathic, but then by the end, she's just kind of committed to this alter ego. And I thought Emma Stone did a really good job of portraying a person slipping into madness, especially given how probably limited her ability was with Disney. Because there are some times where you can totally tell that some punches were pulled, and if they just hadn't pulled those, it would have been so much better. But,
yeah. I get what you're saying. I guess it's got to be hard, right, to go into a story and shoehorn in like a character's backstory.
Yeah.
But like,
and
go ahead.
And they definitely tried it. It was one of the things that I found disappointing was they definitely tried to pull back some of Cruella's psychoticness, which I think they should have just gone full blown with it. And
because she was crazy in the cartoon.
Yeah.
Like she lost it there. I remember that.
And the other thing that kind of disappointed me was it did feel like they forced in events. Like, for example, like Alan said with the Dalmatians killing her mom. Well, now she has a perfect reason to hate Dalmatians. It's like, well, that was convenient. Like,
right. Yeah, specifically Dalmatians too.
Yeah, like they're not the best watchdogs in the world. Like you could have picked a better guard dog than a Dalmatian.
They're not really violent either, are they? I don't think Dalmatians are naturally violent.
I don't know. To me it was just kind of like that's a poor guard dog choice.
They're not the brightest of dogs.
Yeah, I've heard that they're pretty lackluster as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, just the story of it.
But I will say Emma Stone's acting was maybe not worth a theater ticket unless your wives or girlfriends drag you, but it's definitely something that you can watch and go, wow, that's talent,
Yeah. I guess she's been pretty good in everything else I've seen her in. She did a show with Jonah Hill. And I'm totally blanking on the name. It was like a mini series.
I don't remember. No,
it was on Netflix, and it's probably still there. And I don't know why I can't think of the name, but they were testing a drug because they were both like super depressed, and they were testing out this drug. And each episode they went to this alternate universe, and they kept meeting up even though they weren't supposed to in this.
Oh yeah.
In this drug hallucinogen world. And it like started matching up with real life, and it was so surreal and confusing, and slow paced. I kept falling asleep, so maybe it's just a me problem. It's called Maniac. I just looked it up, and it should be on Netflix still. But both of them did a great job in their performances. So.
Yeah,
I don't. It's worth a watch. If you don't get past the first episode, then don't bother.
Yeah,
but I finished that show.
I kept seeing it on there. Yeah, I thought about it too.
How long is each episode?
Roughly an hour. It's it's a mini series.
Okay,
I call it, but it does have a beginning and an end. So
yeah, I might have to look into that because I like both of them.
Yeah, it's unlike anything I've seen either of them do.
Okay.
Before, so
you mean it's better than his Wolf of Wall Street portrayal, Jonah Hill?
It's better than.
I'm sorry.
I didn't see that movie. I've seen clips and it's pretty outlandish. No,
to me, it's like someone walked up to Jonah and just said, "All right, just replace your whole vocabulary with fuck, and that's your character."
That's it.
Like, okay.
That's every clip I've ever seen. No, he had a movie with Brad Pitt, Moneyball. And he did really good in that.
Okay.
That's a fantastic movie too. I love that movie. But
is that
anyways,
the one with the A's?
Yeah, the Oakland A's. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I haven't seen that one either. I wanted to see that one. So.
You got to check that one out. Find a way. Yeah, that one's totally worth a watch. It's so good. Yeah. Yeah, so you were pleasantly surprised by Cruella. I will not be seeing it.
No, I'm good.
I'm sure it'll be on my TV at some point because those movies make it their way on there somehow.
Yeah.
Like
I said, unless you're desperate to find out the backstory to Cruella, I don't think this is worth a theater purchase ticket. It made Imogen happy, so that was worth it to me. But when I got there, I was like, oh, this isn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. And then her acting was definitely just a little icing on the cake or something. It helped it out a lot.
Cool. Well, glad you liked it. Let's move on to video games. We've been talking about this game, Dark Alliance, for some time.
Yeah.
Is it out?
Yeah.
Did I miss it? Oh my gosh.
It actually released a couple days ago. Tuesday? I want to say Tuesday.
Yes, Tuesday.
So yesterday, but technically Monday at 8 o'clock for us specific.
Oh, okay.
9 o'clock. 9 o'clock.
So I played it twice.
Yeah.
We've played it twice at night, and I just wanted to figure we'd touch bases with initial reactions. There's been a lot of bad press around the game recently because of the initial reaction that most people have been getting, and also people who've actually delved deep and done reviews on it have been kind of slamming it. For instance, it's gotten about a 4 on IGN currently.
Whoa.
So there's a little frame of reference here for you of where it is, and sadly, I would probably agree, which is really disappointing for me. I'm really hoping that they go in and fix a lot of problems. For instance, I have not the best internet, as both of you know, and for the most part, I actually raid on Final Fantasy 14, and I do pretty well. My latency is good enough for that. I've played Marvel Avengers for a long time, and my internet is good enough for that, and Dead by Daylight as well. So it does well on most things, but for some reason I get some really bad latency on this game.
You played Dead by Daylight?
Sometimes I played it a lot for a while, and then I dipped out.
Dang, you are into the gore.
Yeah, that game's actually really fun as well. If you got people to play with.
Yeah, it is fun, but again, that's too much gore for me.
But anyways, so I have some really bad latency with that game to the point where it feels like about every time I hit somebody, I don't see the damage for maybe a quarter to half a second, which is frustrating. And when I hit destructible objects, it's that amount of time to see them blow up and things like that. I actually switched to the Archer so I could keep playing with Tomas and my son, who hasn't noticed it as much, but he's also fairly young, or 13. And he hasn't seemed to notice it as much as I do. It bothers me. So I keep playing it, and I switched to the Archer, Katie Bree, because it's easier to deal with the latency problems with her. And like, there's a lot of really janky. We've been getting a lot of weird quick freezes when we have 4 people. It only seems to happen when we have 4 people too. When we have 3 people, it seems to not happen as much. But it seems like it's just too much for it to handle. The game itself is everybody on screen.
And it doesn't matter who's hosting at that point. I've hosted.
That's another thing too. Is I thought it was a server issue because a lot of these games that do this, the host is the server and everybody joins him. But it seems like no matter who I join, I have the exact same latency problems. So there's got to be a private server, a dedicated server for this, and that means that there's an issue with that as well. And that's not even getting into like the problems with being able to group together. It's supposed to be able to connect between PS4 and PS5, but it does not. The PS5 people need to download the PS4 version to be able to play with you, which is the only game that I've heard that there's cross console that's done that, which means they need to fix it. there's various other problems with. We've had people that we've come back from a match and all their gear is just off of them for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And they have to re-equip everything. It's just one thing after another of problems that keep happening in this game, and it's so sad because the game, while the graphics aren't amazing, they're tolerable, they're good in a sense.
Tolerable?
Tolerable as in like they're not great, but they're just kind of like enough. If the gameplay was there, it wouldn't matter. But the gameplay's not there either.
Let me enlighten it this
go ahead.
way.
Yeah.
In my opinion, because as we all know, I'm a graphics whore. But
that's true.
In my opinion, what saved Avengers was the graphics.
It's worse than Avengers?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
okay. Frame of reference, we did not play Avengers until
it's true.
a while after it came out.
That is true.
We had a bunch of updates before we started playing it. We played this game at launch. It could get fixed and it could be better or worse than Avengers. I don't know what Avengers was like at first.
Yeah, I was going to ask you guys, let's just isolate the one issue you talked about first, the latency. Yeah. If they were to fix that, streamline that, and the crossplay, we'll bundle that in there too. If they were to just fix that alone, not anything else, would the score go up for you?
Yes.
Yeah.
That right there would probably make the score a bit higher, just for the simple fact that at least I can play it comfortably with people I want to play it with. Right now, I'm playing a game that's intended to be a multiplayer game, but it's not comfortable to play with other people unless we know each other. With Marvel Avengers, that game's fun. I will play with random people just because I enjoy playing the game. But this game, I can't play with random people because the latency is so bad. It's not fun. It's only fun when I'm able to hang out with my friends. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does make sense. And it does. It is kind of annoying, but honestly, I think rating games today, in this day and age we live in, and going forward, is going to be difficult, right? Because you said IGN gave it a 4.
Yeah, that was just a reference, but yes.
Right. But using that reference, say they fix all these things, right? All the glitches, that could probably bump it up at least 1 point.
Oh,
yeah.
Right.
If they fix what you said alone, you're at least talking about a 5 point, maybe even a 6 point game. And then if they
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
And then if they tuned up several other things like how to connect with people easily, if they had made it so that all your gear could be customizable instead of just certain pieces, so that you didn't run around looking like, I don't know, the odd man out because you had some stupid helmet that you couldn't change. So there's just these little things where if they just tweaked them, if they just did this, if they just did that, we could have at least maybe even a 7 point game. It's just, I wouldn't go any higher than that because the graphics stop it for me there. But
right, they're not going to be able to adjust that to a point, any point where it would change it. But my idea here is that rating games on the launch is not going to justify what the game looks like, especially if it's an online multiplayer game. It should, potentially could be going for years. It could be, like you said, a 7 point game in a year from now, solid 7 or whatever. And so it's just interesting. The initial feedback is not what it used to be, right? Because it's just, the games are so massive and so big, and there's crossplay. Like, they have to figure out how to get a whole 5 systems up and running now.
Yeah.
And then people want the Switch version. It's like, well, we can't do that. It's like, no, we want the Switch.
Well, it's kind of like I was telling Alan's son, there used to be a time when you could just put in a game and play it, and he was just like, yeah, well, that doesn't happen anymore. And Al was like, yeah, but it did.
Right. So let me ask you guys this, knowing that is a truth, as we've seen, with Avengers, obviously, is a good one. We talked about Cyberpunk. I played Cyberpunk. I bought it. I sold it. I bought it again. I've yet to put it back in the console, as an example. But does this deter you guys from buying games at launch going forward?
Yes, for the simple fact that I actually don't buy games at launch normally. I don't pre-order games anymore because of this. I've usually pre-order expansions for like Final Fantasy 14, but I already know the game's good, so it's just updating the game I'm already playing. I don't usually go for games at launch anymore because of this exact reason. And what's sad is I got so pumped for this that I now pre-ordered it, and now I'm back to being burned by another game. I didn't pre-order Marvel's Avengers. I was excited for it, but I didn't pre-order it. When I ended up getting it for cheap, it was actually really fun, and I played a lot of hours on this. This I put in the game, and I've been trying to go back to it. I've only played it with people I know, and I plan. I don't think I'm gonna go back to it unless I know someone playing it right now. I think my plan is to wait until eventually I maybe get a PS5, and then I'll try again and see what happens, and hope that they fix something. But I may just leave it alone for a while and hope that when I come back to it, it'll be, they'll fix it. But at the moment, I have no desire to go to play it by myself at all. So It's just kind of, yeah. And it's sad for me. It's hard for me because I'm usually very conscious about my purchases on games, and I want to be playing them a lot.
Yeah.
And this one's just going to have to sit on the shelf while I'm waiting to be able to play it, which is frustrating. I'm excited to play Marvel's Avengers when I get a PS5. I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
Because I want to go back and play that game again. Because I actually really enjoyed it. And there's more content because I haven't played Hawkeye or Black Panther that's coming out.
Right. At this point, the game, and that it's just a weird idea, and I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. It's just games that come out are still in development, right? Most games now, especially if they're a multiplayer, are just an ongoing development cycle. I mean, and even non-multiplayer games. I will say that the last game I pre-ordered, which spoiler alert, part of that is my soapbox, but was Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. And that game ran flawlessly.
That's awesome.
It wasn't online multiplayer or anything. I wish it was. That would have made that game fantastic if you could team up together and just beat up.
Oh my word!
Frieza squad.
Yeah, that would be great if you could just team up Saiyans.
Yeah, or just PvP where you, not just co-op, but you fight other teams. Like you get like the Ginyu squad or whatever. Oh yeah, that would be so cool.
They have a Xenoverse, but it's not the same. I know.
I know. I like Xenoverse too.
You could play that online as well with people and squads and stuff like that. It's pretty fun.
But I felt like Kakarot the fighting was more fun.
Yeah,
which it was on sale recently for like dirt cheap.
Yeah, I own it. I've been meaning to go back to try it out. I just haven't got around to it yet.
That one's a fun, like rainy day one, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was my game of the year.
Yeah,
at least in my top 5. But it's not one that really like you got to go play it. It's definitely like just sit down and have fun with it.
Side note, that developer that made that game is making a Demon Slayer game right now. So, just a weird tie-up to our previous section.
Interesting. Yeah, that's cool.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I heard about it. But yes, it's amazing that game came out and it worked flawlessly. That's what I want.
Right.
But no offense to Dragon Ball, I love Dragon Ball Z to death, but I don't usually get super excited when the games come out because there's been so many. So this was like a big deal because it was like a Dungeons and Dragons game that was based off of the Companions books with Drizzt by R.S. Salvatore. So it's kind of like it was something that hadn't been done before. Mm-hmm. And so it's really upsetting that's why it's so sad. But that's amazing. I'm not dogging that. That's awesome that it came out and worked great. I'm just saying I probably wouldn't have bought it day one just personally because that's just how I feel. But obviously I should have because apparently it was amazing. So more practices like that.
Yeah, me personally, I mean there are probably still some titles that I will pre-order at launch because I feel like the title at least has never burned me, like Assassin's Creed. Well, okay, I should rephrase that. There were a couple really bad ones in there, but for the most part, it's been pretty consistent. If Dragon Age ever decides to put out another game again, they're just teasing at it, I will definitely get that. So there are some titles that I think I will still.
Even after Andromeda?
What?
Even
Mass
after
Effect?
Andromeda? Yeah.
Not Mass Effect, Dragon Age.
No, I know, but it's like the same people.
I didn't play Andromeda. I have no feelings on
Oh,
it.
I see.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is basically the people who made Dragon Age no longer exist, as in that company no longer exists.
Well, they keep talking about Dragon Age 4 or something, so I keep hoping it's going to come out.
I hope it's not another Andromeda for you.
I hope so too, because I've heard people didn't like that one.
Yeah, because the only thing that BioWare's been coming out with that's been any good recently is remastering their old games.
Mm-hmm.
Oof. The shots have been fired. You
No,
heard
it's
it here.
I agree with
On
him
your
on
business.
that. I totally agree.
I'm not saying he's wrong, but
yeah.
still, that is
But-
a straight shot to the
So
dome.
there are some titles that I probably still will pre-order just because I still have enough faith in them. But yeah, this kind of blew me away because for the most part I've pre-ordered games and I've been pretty lucky with them. Like Neo, like I'm trying to think of other ones. Some of the Far Cries, I didn't like them all, but I liked some of them, like Primal.
Yeah.
So I mean, there are some titles, like I said, the Assassin's Creeds, but yeah, I don't know. This is the first time I've been burnt so badly on a pre-order because I usually hear about the bad pre-order, fortunately from Alan or something. But
Right.
Alan was just so stoked on this one that I think both of us were just kind of like, no, this is going to be good. And then,
I mean, if you guys had Game Pass, you could have just
Yeah, we could just played it for
Right.
free. Which
could have tried it
I
out.
yeah, I would totally agree on that one. I'm glad that exists because hopefully a lot of people won't have that problem.
I'll be honest with you. I probably would have bought it too because Alan was so stoked about it. I was like, cool, let's get back in a game together. But then when I found out it was coming to Game Pass, I was like, oh, well, I'll just try it out first.
Yeah. Good. I'm glad. I'm happy
Yeah.
you did. I really don't want to get anybody else to get burned on this game.
Ah,
Hopefully it gets fixed.
And I don't want Alan to feel like I'm blaming him, but I am blaming him. So
Yeah. Well, you can blame me. I got pulled into the hype. This is why you don't get pulled into the hype of a game. You stay like you try. I usually am pretty good about just staying on the outside and trying not to get into that hype. But I got into that hype tornado. It didn't help that I'm like a huge D&D person.
Yeah.
And so like just have that one logo on there made it even worse.
And it didn't
wanting it to be good.
And it didn't help for me too, because I'll be honest, I jumped on the train too, because it didn't help for me too. I read a lot of the R.A. Salvatore books. I love Drizzt as a character. I love Brunjar. I love Canterbury. I love Wolfgar. Like they're all interesting characters to me. So, you know, when this came out, it was the same for me, Alan. It was the logo and the characters. I was like, oh, I like all of this, you know. So
yeah, and the voice acting's very well done too. Like when you hear them talking and stuff, it sounds interesting. Like there's a good game in here. It's just God, how to fix it.
That's it. I've heard a lot of reviews say that about Avengers.
Yeah,
when it came out, like there's a game,
yes.
A good game is in there somewhere.
Avengers though is good now, I will say, and I still follow them on Twitter, and they're pumping out content. They just started putting MCU skins and stuff like that. Like I'm ready to dive in as soon as I get a PS5. I'm ready to go in and get it back into Avengers again because that game. I'm excited for all the bonus stuff that's come out since I stopped playing.
Why wait for the PS5 though?
Because I want to get those graphics. I want to get the graphics right. I want to be like top notch in there.
And I don't want to feel like I'm sitting in an airport anymore. Like this. Oh, come on.
Well, you mean during the low times?
You're talking about he's talking about the fan on the PS5.
Yeah,
the PS4. Yeah. That took me so long to get to, Kyle. I was like, what is he talking about? Airport.
Yeah, that is really bad. My wife and I are still going through It Takes Two. We'll hit a level up here and there, and she even's like, "What's happening? Like, is everything okay?" Like, yeah, it's just what it does. Just ignore it. Turn the TV up a little bit louder. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy, but yeah, I really hope they fix it. But it's frustrating. Don't grab it.
Yeah, wait.
Wait until hopefully they fix it. Or buy it really cheap on sale because it'll start going on sale. Maybe pick it up like what I did with Avengers. I picked it up for like $15, and I was so happy of how much time I got into that game.
Right? Yeah, that was a good buy at that point. for that price. And that's, I think, we could go on this forever. The last point here is that multiplayer games, I think they can get away with having a lower price, if not completely free, with having downloadable content to purchase, on all the skins to buy. I think that is the model going forward, even though I don't really like it. But I think
I get it though, because that way you can at least try it. Because if this game was free with like skins and stuff, at least I can turn it on and go nope, and then walk away. And now I'm $60 deep, and almost feel obligated.
Well, it wasn't 60, it was 50.
It was 40. It was 40, but I got the deluxe edition.
See,
you fully went in.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I luckily did not do the deluxe. I know that Bri did it too. And he's like you, man. He's not happy.
Yeah.
He is.
I bought a game before we move on this week that is, speaking of deluxes, this is an oldie but a goodie. I had a coupon on Mercari, and I purchased the collector's edition for Batman Arkham City on PS3. And sometimes, I guess I shouldn't say they don't make them like this anymore, but this one comes with the little statue of Batman.
That's
pretty good size one.
Cool.
And that's what sold me, because it was not, it wasn't as expensive as the game you guys just bought. I'll just say that. And I used a coupon to get it, so it was like almost nothing. But there's having a statue in there is like, oh. Yeah, and I just got it today, and it looks beautiful.
Nice.
But speaking of pre-orders, we don't have any tabletop games this week, but we do have a soapbox. And I'm kicking off soapbox this week. And since we're talking about pre-orders, I pre-ordered a game this week.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Believe it or not. I gave into the hype. I got the receipt here to prove it, buddy.
Oh man.
I'll send you all my information.
Cool.
The credit card I used and everything.
Excellent. All right.
Yeah, you make sure that you get those numbers on the back too. So don't forget those.
Can't verify it. Could be a fake card.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a lie. I totally gave into the hype. So, E3 had a bunch of announcements, and Nintendo did their thing with Metroid, right? I didn't get Metroid.
I thought you were gonna get it. Okay.
All right. We talked about it where the pre-orders were getting sold out. I'm gonna get Metroid, but just the base game.
Okay.
Because I'm pretty sure you'll be able to find a copy of that.
Yeah, of course.
The collector's edition is going bananas. So.
Oh god, yeah.
Another game that was announced this week was Shin Megami Tensei 5.
Oh, I actually want to talk about that on our bite size, because it actually looked really interesting. Okay, keep going. Sorry.
Yeah, so that game is coming out in November, and they have a collector's edition that comes with a bunch of stuff, steelbook and like a backpack.
Nice. Okay.
However, those were selling out instantly. The pre-orders.
Of course. Yeah.
Instantly, like
as they do.
I would see the tweet, and have you ever seen a tweet where it says this has been up for 5 seconds, and you can see the seconds? Yeah. I clicked on it and it said out. I'm like, how?
Yep.
I'm 5 seconds too late? That's not possible. So, anyways, if you went into GameStop, they would order it online for you. Not a store pickup. They would use their computer to order it online and ship it to you, which was the most ass backwards thing I've ever heard. But
yeah, that's how I got my Kingdom Hearts PS4. The Kingdom Hearts PS4 is that way.
Really?
Yeah, it's the craziest thing. I don't know how they do it, but yeah, that was the only way to do it with that one too. It's weird. But anyways, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
So yeah, that's how it happened. And I've never played any of the Shin Megami series at all. I've never even played a Persona. I also got Persona 5 Royale.
Nice.
Because that was on sale. But I think
it keeps going on, so I keep thinking about grabbing it, but I'm not sure.
I think those are two different games series, but in the same universe.
They're connected somehow. I don't know the whole ins and outs, but yeah, I've heard the same thing.
It is what we were talking about in the beginning of the show, where it's very like a spiritual thing versus the gore. So I'm going to see how it goes, and I totally bought into the hype. if it wasn't so hyped up, I probably would not have pre-ordered it.
Yeah, I almost got that one too, just because I was playing Demon Slayer, and that was like a whole demon thing. There's like demons and stuff in that game as well, and I was watching the gameplay on the Nintendo Direct, and it looked really interesting, like really interesting. I was curious.
Yeah, they've always looked really cool, and you know they're on This is number 5, and they re-released one, like an HD version for number 3. I want to say just recently.
Yeah.
So I've always been curious, and sure enough, you know,
Likewise.
That could be the title of this episode. Don't buy into the hype.
Yeah, it could be because I totally agree. I've always been curious about those too because we didn't get Persona on Nintendo platforms. We got because I hadn't have PS3 for a while, and I used to play my 3DS a lot, and all those games are on 3DS. I feel like some of them are on PSP, but like for some reason the Shin Megami Tenseis and Personas, like Personas went to Sony, and then the Tenseis went over to Nintendo for a long time. So
3DS got that weird Persona Q or whatever.
Yeah, they did end up getting that, which was really confusing to people because they're like, "Well, that means we're gonna get Persona 5 on Switch," and they're like, "No, it's not gonna happen." No. We got like the Strikers one, right? Which is like the Muso one, which is supposed to be like a successor to Persona 5, but not Persona 5 Royale. It's really weird, and that kind of threw me off really hard. I was like, what?
I'm in a Discord where they talk about it a lot, and it's so confusing. I'm like, I don't know who any of these characters are.
Yeah.
I do plan on playing it one day. But it just sounds like a convoluted mess. But, you know, when you're a fan of something, you love the mess.
Yeah, of course.
It's your mess.
Yeah, just like I mean, I'm a huge Kingdom Hearts fan. You know that. I don't know. I know you are too. But like, you know, decoding that story it makes you scratch your head. Like I even played them all again before 3 came out on the PS4, and I still was confused. Like I didn't even remember. I was like, I'm not even sure.
You got to play all the sub games in between, and then they do have the all-in-one package now that helps a little bit. But
I keep thinking about buying it just because I would like to have it all in one package. I've always because it keeps going on sale too, and the Melodies ones is supposed to be in canon. I saw it for like 30, like $25 or $30, and I was like thinking about it, but I was like,
no,
it's for PS4, and I really want it for Switch because it feels like a Switch game, but I don't really want to pay more than $20. I'm like,
I say wait.
Feel like that, and it's gonna get there because it keeps getting lower and lower, and it's gonna get to $20.
They all got there, right?
Yeah.
Every Kingdom Hearts has gotten there in lower. If that, I say wait. I'm getting it on PS4, the Melody one because I have all of them on PS4 already. So
Makes sense.
Just I would feel bad almost if I had one just Switch one and the rest are on PS4.
I played the Rhythm one. I don't know if you played Final Fantasy Rhythm, and I really actually enjoyed that. I took it to a Fan Fest with me, and it was like perfect for going to Final Fantasy 14 Fan Fest. It was like a really fun little game I could play in lines. But so
that makes sense.
It did intrigue me because they're really quick. You just do like one song and you can move on. But they're just like they're usually pretty fun, but still no more than $20.
Yeah, please don't make me spend over 20 for that game.
No,
I'm a fan, but please.
Yeah, I'm a fan, but my wallet is not looking to be in pain for this music game you decided to make.
Yeah, exactly. I'm waiting. So that's my soapbox. The pre-order craze is real and strong. If you have a Metroid Collector's Edition pre-ordered,
my brother-in-law is very, very upset about that. Apparently, he skipped the draft and like forgot about it and was doing something else, and then went back and watched it like a couple hours after.
Right.
And then he saw the announcement. And he was like, "What?" And he like went on it. Of course, they're all sold out at that point.
All the amiibos are gone.
Yeah, everything was gone. He was like a little upset. So I was like, "All right, buddy. I feel like they may come out with some more collector's editions after this hype. So you may have a chance later."
They've
done it in the past.
You might be able to go in store and get them. I've learned there's ebbs and flows, right? So once the game is released, it'll be hard to find. But if you wait a few months, and let it die down, you could probably find a copy on eBay for a reasonable price.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I was going to say, like, your brother-in-law probably has a normal life,
Yeah,
a normal
exactly.
human being, and missed the announcement, and then wasn't able to do it. It's like, oh, great.
Yeah, I even looked at it right after the announcement. I was looking at it because I was confused, but I was curious. But they were already sold out. Like I wasn't even fast enough because I thought about snagging it for him. Like I snagged because I was
Nice.
like, I'll grab this just in case, and then if he doesn't get it, I'll give it to him, and if he does, maybe I'll sell it or do something else. But yeah, I wasn't even quick enough either.
Yeah, that's the story of your life right now.
Yeah, it seems like it.
Yeah.
You want to go next, Alan? Since we're talking about it,
if you like, since I'm already talking so much. So I just want to do an update on my hunt. So I got a pretty good tale here. I feel it's interesting. Well, first of all, there's been a dry spell. I've talked about last time I was on. We didn't have many updates.
Well,
I've been having a hard time.
Tell if someone is this is their first episode. What is it you're looking for?
So I'm looking for a PS5. I've been looking for a PS5 this is the third episode now. So technically we're on what, a month and a half, or is it
It's been over a month. It's been over
a little over a month at least. I've been on the search. I decided I was going to get one, and I said, you know what? I'm going all in. I'm going to be trying to hunt this thing down. And so I've been doing that. First 2 weeks before last episode, basically there was a dry spell. There was a big drop at Best Buy, and that was about it. I couldn't get a hold of one, unfortunately. Now we're on this week, and now the dry spell continued up until E3, and it kept ringing about. People kept talking about things. There was a weird post on GameStop. This is how it works, by the way. You listen to Twitter, and people get these rumors, and they start spreading. And you get a rumor that it's going to be at Walmart. You get a rumor that GameStop got a package, a section of them. They're going to be releasing them soon. You get a rumor that Best Buy has been doing it, and you just don't know, and it's very frustrating because you don't know what's real and what's not. And I've sat here on the couch looking at streams. There's a stream I watch, Killer Cam. The stream, just the bot. So it's just the bot. That's all it is, with some updates. That's it. What it does is every or an Xbox, any of them, it alert, and I have it on blast. But as soon as it goes off, like my house. Get anywhere in my house, and so I run out and try to get. Yes, this is what my life has been like. Okay, when I've been home, and I've even told my wife about certain drops. Like, hey, if you're here and you hear it, go to this site and check it, or click on this link and check it.
The instructions written down.
Yeah, here's my information. I put my information on a notepad, so she had it. Put it in. Cards in. You just gotta go. Just go as fast as you can. Or it'll be signed in, whatever I decide to do with that day.
Right.
But anyways, so there's been a dry spell. We had our E3 episode last Wednesday, and that's when the rumors started picking up more and more and more. That night there was a bunch. First of all, before that day, no, it was that night. I was hearing about this. There was no rumors or anything at that point. Well, there's lots of rumors, but I went to bed because I was like, whatever. I didn't hear anything. I checked my phone. My phone's on as well. Keep in mind. Also on the Discord channel he has. So if it goes off, my phone will awaken me in my sleep. It does not work though. That never wakes me up. But I've tried. I've woken up to the next morning, like I was going to say right now. I've woken up to. Oh, by the way, there was a drop at Target at 4:00 in the morning.
Oh my god!
That was the first drop. 4:00 in the morning. Of course. I woke up at 7:00 to go to work or something. Oh, no, it was like 6:00, and I just looked at my phone, and I was just like, "What is going on? What is happening?" And then I started looking through the comments, and all I saw was Best Buy keeps flickering. Best Buy keeps flickering. Everybody, Best Buy's flickering. There's going to be a drop. There's going to be a drop at Best Buy. I was like, what the hell is going on? So I go to my living room, I get my coffee, I'm watching the TV. I have the whole thing up. I'm just on my coffee. I'm on Twitch and stuff on my phone and just kind of going through while watching this thing. And everybody's just freaking out about how it's flickering. Nothing's happening. Okay. Keep in mind before this was my day. It was kind of my day off. PlayStation was going to do a drop as well that day. Okay, this is Thursday. PlayStation is going to do a drop at they said at 5 o'clock. So it was no at 2 o'clock, but I had to go to work at 3 o'clock. So I was going to get in line. That was my plan. But before I did that, I was going to wait to see. So I'm watching it. Nothing's happening all day. Everybody keeps talking about how it's flickering. Things are breaking. There's weird stuff. At Walmart, there's a scalper who's been lowering his price to $4.99 to trigger the bots and then raising it immediately. This has been happening for a while. I didn't mention that one. So that will actually falsely ignite all the bots. Everybody runs there and then he ups the price and then nobody gets anything. It's insane.
This is crazy.
Isn't it though? So I'm watching. I get in line. Okay. I didn't get one of those emails. Tomas posted one of those emails. So every time they do one of these PlayStation drops, I'll explain. They send out these emails. Everybody who gets one of these PSN emails is guaranteed a PlayStation 5. Now, there is more than that amount. So if you get in line, as long as you have a PSN, you have a chance to purchase one. Okay? Here's the caveat. You can't refresh their page because if you do, they will think you're a bot and not let you do it on your IP address. So you have to do it in incognito mode to be able to watch them so they can't see your IP address. Okay. And so now I have to have my information on a piece of paper to give my wife because I have to go to work. I can't stay here. I got to leave. So I'm like, okay, set it all up for her. Right. And I leave. She's texting me while I'm doing my work. And she's like, okay, we're like 30 minutes in. And then she texts me, we're 2 minutes in. They just told me they're sold out. I can wait in line and see what else there is. And I was like, well, just go in and see what happens. Because I keep getting told essentially that if you're already in a line or something, stay in because there might be a chance that things flicker back on sometime.
Okay.
I'll wait just to flicker in, but no luck, no dice. I was very upset. Fortunately, that night we were going to go see Demon Slayer. So I came home and we got ready and we went and got to see Demon Slayer and we were very excited. We wanted to go at Boba. We were having a great time. And I got in the car. I had 2 beers, so Sarah was driving. And I sit in the car and I pull out my phone and it goes off. I look at it. It says Sam's Club just got a drop. So I click on it. I start filling in my information. My wife says, oh, hold on. I have it on my phone already, so I can finish it for you. I said, okay, whatever. And so we park, and she pulls out her phone and basically finishes it. I started finishing the stuff, and then she finishes it on her phone, which is like a slide.
Yeah.
She buys it.
Well,
she buys it. I'm freaking out. She gets the dang thing. It's a bundle. It comes with an extra controller and Spider-Man. That's it. It's actually a really small bundle. A lot of these bundles get crazy.
Right.
So this is a really small bundle. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe we got it. I was like, there's no way. We're going to get canceled. There's no way. We check our debit card. It's pending. I was like, okay, well, we'll get an email tomorrow. Watch, it'll happen. Next morning, the pending is still there. Everything seems fine. The other day, the pending went away. But it's still saying we're there, so it sounds like the verification went through, and now they're saying that basically they will charge when it ships. So I should be getting a PS5.
Hey,
it's coming, guys! I got one.
You did it! It was so easy.
So,
yeah. Congrats.
If you're getting a PS5, that was a big wrong ramble. I hope that wasn't too long, but
it was a lot. That was quite the soapbox.
Yeah. So I got it. I'm pretty happy. Fortunately, the shipping's pretty long, but it should be here by the 4th of July at the latest. But Sarah says
that's not bad.
Yeah, Sarah says Sam's Club is weird, and apparently once they ship it, it's like next day. But we just gotta wait for them to ship it. But yeah, so
cool.
I'm excited.
Cool,
yeah. So, anyways, it's possible.
Yeah.
Good luck.
The command center has to be set up.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. That's quite the story. I was thinking of you, and Amazon had a drop, and I actually got to click add to cart
Yeah, so I actually tried that too.
And it sent me to the Oops page.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, oh, well, I was doing it for you, and sure enough, it was like, okay.
Yeah, I started doing it too because I was actually going to see if I could get another one and sell it to Tomas or something. But yeah, same thing. I think I got it on my cart and then I tried to put next and no.
Premium price, right?
Of course, yeah. I bump it up a couple hundred. He'll understand.
I can give you a couple games. Y'all got PS5s over there? Awesome. Well, I can't wait to hear about it.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Get your impressions on it. All right, Tomas.
Well,
I don't know if you can top that one.
No, I definitely can't because my struggle is still the struggle. So I don't have quite as in-depth or cool a story as Alan does, but my main frustration was I went on a vacation with my fiance to Arizona, because she had never seen the Grand Canyon, so we went out that way.
Nice.
Yeah, and we had a great time, and it was a good old time, and came back to the hotel, and my phone went off because it was like, hey, you got an email. And I was like, oh, how cool is that? And so I opened up the email.
You excited just about getting emails?
Yeah, well, no, I wasn't really excited about it. I was just curious what the email was about. And I pulled open the email, and PS5 was like, hey, respond now before the end of November 17, and you can get your PS5. And I was like, oh, yes. And I closed out of the email, and I looked at the date, and it was November 18. I was like, son of a brr. And yeah, they had, because it was 12 o'clock. It had just switched over to November 18. So they had sent me that email that day while I was at the freaking Grand Canyon. So I blame the Grand Canyon for me not getting a PS5. Fucking Grand Canyon.
Wait, so they sent you an email about November?
No, they sent me an email saying that I could get it that day on the 17th. And if I said November, I don't know what I was talking about. I meant
okay. June.
Yeah, June.
Okay, I was like,
I don't know what I was thinking there. My bad.
Okay.
I'm just that frustrated that I'm just shouting out months.
You were so mad. You thought you had skipped 5 months.
Yeah.
Of your life.
And now we're here in November, and tomorrow's going to be October. And you see, by the end of the week, we have December.
Fair enough. That does. It's almost worse, right? Like Alan kind of knew what he was getting into, but this one was like they teased you a little bit.
Yeah, they just emailed me. They only gave me a day, man. That's not fair.
It was almost like, hey, we got a PS5 for you. Like, well, let me think about it. I don't know if I have the money. Oh, it's too slow.
And
sorry.
There it goes.
Yeah, you missed
it.
Yeah,
you can't hesitate at all.
No, you can't
with this game, man. It's just
you really
this game, man.
This game, man.
This is
I'll get one eventually. I refuse to pay full price.
If you beat me to it, I swear I will.
No, we're not doing that because, like I said, I'm not paying full price, and obviously that's not happening for anytime soon.
No, but I've honestly thought about just like going, well, maybe I should just get the Xbox because I mean they're on the shelves.
Yeah, those are getting way easier to.
Yeah, they're. That was one of the things that kept happening with me too, is that a bunch of them kept pinging. So while they are easier, they're still a little rough. You're still going to be putting in some effort because the only ones on shelves have been at GameStop, I think, and those were sold out immediately.
Right, but the fact that they're actually putting them out on shelves, is hopeful. Yeah. I thought you were going to say just pay a little bit extra.
Just pay a little extra, $1,000. I mean, you get one, and then
no, man,
$500, right?
You could get one for cheaper than that because I know there's some.
No.
You're telling me no?
No. I was saying yes. You can get. You can get.
You telling me no?
You're telling me no?
You're gonna reach through this mic.
It's probably like the best bet is probably like 700, but that's still a little crazy in my opinion.
I got mine for about 600 something, but with all that stuff. So
yeah,
and
well,
I
you got the
calculated
bundle.
it out, and it was actually cheaper than retail for all the extra stuff. So because it's Sam's Club.
Yeah, I mean
So,
bundles usually are pretty equal. So
I want to give some advices for people who want to purchase a PS5. Always check the Newegg bundle. So go on Newegg and check it.
The shuffle,
every day,
right?
Yeah, the shuffle. There we go. Newegg shuffle.
It's madness.
It is madness, but it's a raffle. So that means there's no speed, and you have 2 hours to purchase it. So click on it and see what happens.
It is a clever way for them to fight the bots, in my opinion. It's something, right?
And you're also going to have to do a bundle, though, with that. Usually it's always a bundle.
Oh, for sure.
You're always going to do a bundle. The only ones that I've seen that do non-bundles have been Best Buy, Amazon, Walmart, have done non-bundles, and then through PlayStation Direct. But all the non-bundle ones usually go really – it's crazy how fast they go. Insane. But I was going to say Killer Cam 1020, he's actually the one that ended up getting me. He pinged the one that I got. He has a Discord, which I followed, which also helped. And he posts all those things. That's a good one on Twitter. Also, Stock Trader at PS5 restocks _ETC. That's another good one that both pop those. I used to follow Wario64. He does ping them, but unless you want a billion posts for deals, I didn't like following him for very long when I was looking for just a PS5. Now, if you're looking for deals, follow him.
Oh, he's the guy, yeah.
But if you're just looking for a PS5, unless you really want to be pinged all day and get your hopes up every time, I would unfollow him immediately and just follow those people. Because usually he ends up posting like right after them anyways. He's a little slower. But I don't think he has. I don't know about his. Yeah. How it does.
But he never was that guy either.
No, he wasn't.
Right.
Yeah.
He's just a deals guy, and yeah, people. I would see some of the comments that he gets. Yeah. He's like, I've never claimed to be a PS5 guy. You know, I just post deals.
I follow him because he does do really good deals. I follow him, but I'm just if you're looking for specifically something. Like a PS5, I would highly recommend just like ignoring him for the time being because, it's just gonna drive you crazy. The notifications.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's you'll get one, Tomas. I believe in you. I can't believe you got an email though. I've never got an email. I know somebody got two now. We have someone in our chat who said they got 2 emails. And I was like, how are you getting these emails? I never got one of these emails.
Yeah.
And it's like, wouldn't they know that you already got one?
They're supposed to, because that's how it's supposed to work. Is it's supposed to be like 1 PS5 per account, a PSN account is how that's supposed to work. But whatever. Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah, who knows?
Good luck to everyone out there.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah.
That is our show. Episode 20 is done. Thank you for listening. Yep. Any final words, gentlemen? Don't stop believing.
Don't stop believing. You'll get a PS5.
Anyways, so no, thank you, but yeah, I'm hoping, man. I'll one of these days, right? See you guys all later.
You get one in 2022. I'll call it here.
Oh, burn!
By the end of at least 2022. That sounded worse than it was actually. End the cast before I dig myself any deeper.
All right. See you guys next week. And we're out.
All right.
All right. No, it's all good. I got to go take my pills here, you guys. So I've got to bounce.
It's like almost 9. Sweet.
Me 10.
I mean, that's what I meant, 10.
No, but we did good. So I appreciate you guys. Thanks for coming on early and everything.
No problem. I actually prefer getting done around 10. So
yeah, I plan on, the kids coming, and I plan on working more, so we might need to do this from now on. Yeah. Plus, if we do the stream, we probably want to do it earlier, anyways. But I'll talk to you guys in Discord.
All right.
All right.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
You too.